Hello, everybody. I'm a practicing therapist and a doctoral student of psychology. Today, I wanted to go over a topic about certain things avoidant individuals say to you. That means that you are the person that they want to be with. You're the person that they chose to be with, and you're the person they're probably going to continue to choose to be with. And why do I think this is important? Because individuals who are with avoidant individuals are not very clear about their commitment. Obviously, that's part of the issue, right? They're not clear. They don't say directly, hey, I want to get married in 1 year. Let's do everything we can to get there. I'm sure a lot of anxious, preoccupied individuals would appreciate that. But unfortunately, avoidant individuals are not like that. They do not say stuff like that. In fact, they don't even think that way. They think differently. They think, oh, wow, this person's so accommodating. What can I do for them? Or this person has dealt with me and what they believe, their flaws. I want to give more to this person. Or I never want to lose this person. It feels amazing to be with this person. I'm so happy, right? That's what they feel is this person. And then probably down the line, they're going to marry you, or you're going to ask them, hey, can we get married, or whatever it is. And they'll say, yeah. Right? Not always the case, but that's the case scenario. If they're healing, they're adjusting, and they care about you, they love you. And so what are ways that you can see that without them directly saying, hey, I want to get married in 5 years. I want to get married in 2 years. These are some of the examples. And I think these are very specific. They're not even talking about commitment, but they do show how an avoidant feels about you. And I'm going to explain that in a bit. But I want to mention these are pretty specific to avoidance, not gender specific, but just specific to avoidance. When I talk about avoidance, typically I'm talking about dismissive avoidance or fearful, leaning strongly dismissive. Okay. This is not always the case, not a one size fits all, but it's very common. When I'm practicing, I see so many avoidant individuals, so many. And this is something that is so frequently brought up. If I did not make a video on this, I would feel pretty bad because y'all probably want this information. It's very informational. And so I hope that you guys can understand where I'm coming from. But this is not the only video I'm going to make like this. I'm going to make as much as I can every time I see things like this. And the first one that I want to bring up is when they say something like this: what can I do so that you don't think that way about me? So this is typically after you think something negative about them, or you are feeling anxious about something, whatever it is. And they tell you, what can I do so you don't think that way about me? Like, how can I earn your trust? Because I would never do that to you. That's what, if it was more clear, that's what they would say. But that's not what they typically say. What can I do so that you don't think that way about me? So I'm going to give an example, but before I give you that example, I'm going to talk about why this means that you're the one. Because a lot of people will be like, how is this anything? People say this as strangers. Maybe, but avoidants typically don't. Many avoidants could literally care less, just being honest, about how people feel about them or how people feel in general. Not because they have NPD, not because they have a personality disorder, even though some can, right? Anybody can. But I'm saying just a person who just has avoidant attachment issues, it's not because they do it on purpose. It's because when they were a child, they were just literally modeled behavior-wise that you shouldn't think about other people. You have to think about yourself. You have to be very independent. They were reprimanded for thinking about other people, and they have to be themselves. But they don't think about how other people feel. They have to think about how they can be strong, how they can be as individual as possible, how they can be somebody who doesn't need anybody. And so in order to not need anybody, you have to not care about how other people feel. So then if you care about how somebody feels and you care about how people perceive you, to an avoidant, that's a form of needing somebody. They need you to not think this way about them. So this is I know it sounds so silly, but it really means a lot. When an avoidant says, what can I do so that you don't think that way about me? They care about how you view them. It's integral to how their feelings are, because that means they do need you. Whether they admit it or not, it's true. It's actually also the reason why they don't care about other people. I know it sounds so blunt, but it's because of their lack of that, like, because they don't care about other people, or they were told to be very independent. That's also why they have that lack of self-awareness, and they tend to be very stubborn, because they were taught you have to be by yourself. You have to do this all by yourself. You're tough. If you don't ask for help, like, that's a sign of weakness, whatever it is. And so if they listen to other people, that's weak. And so their self-awareness is very low because of that, because part of self-awareness is hearing other people's perspectives of you. But this is clearly the opposite of that. If they're saying, what can I do so you don't think that way about me, feel that way about me, believe I'm like that, they have a need to prove to you something. They have to prove that they're a good person for you. It's very special to an avoidant. Again, I know it sounds silly. I'm just being real with y'all. And so let's say that you're texting, no. How about you think that they're texting somebody? Maybe something suspicious, right? Maybe you're afraid they're cheating on you, something like that. And they're not, okay? So the premise of the story is that they're not doing anything, okay? And you mentioned that it's bothering you. They comfort you. They appreciate you being honest. They reassure you, X, Y, and Z, okay? So they did all the good things that they should be doing to their partner who they love, right? And they mention, I'm not talking to anyone and never will. And yes, avoidants do say this. Maybe they don't say it in a nice way. They might say it in a blunt way or a straight up way, but they're telling you, I'm never going to talk to anybody else. I just want you. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. But after that they make you feel better, sometimes what they might say is, maybe you don't believe them. Or maybe you say, I'm feeling uncomfortable. I'm not sure. Sometimes it's because you're distant. I'm wondering, are you talking to somebody else? Maybe it's like that. And, sometimes you're on your phone when we're talking. And they can say, what can I do so that you don't feel that way about me? Some avoidants want to prove this so badly that they're like, no, just look through my phone, please. Or I'm going to delete Instagram. I promise I'm not doing anything. And some people might be like, okay, that sounds really suspicious. Like, why would they go all those lengths to prove it? No, often they're not doing anything. But it just, their perspective of you feeling this way about them is hurtful to them. And they don't have much experience with this feeling. And so sometimes it just looks very, I want to say undeveloped, but I don't mean that in a bad way. Just they don't have much practice with this feeling. So it's a little bit exaggerated. No, I'm never going to do that. I'll delete Instagram. Like, I don't even care about this stuff anymore. Or no, just look through my texts. I have nothing to hide. Some avoidants are really like this because they want to do something so that you don't feel this way about them. They're not a cheater, right? That's what they're trying to prove. And so that's why when an avoidant says that, you really are the one, because avoidants don't waste their time on really anybody unless they matter, okay? It's really important that you understand that. The next one is very similar. What can I do to make you understand I hear you? I see this more often with avoidance and anxious, where their anxious partner feels like, you're not hearing me, you're not understanding me. The anxious partner is saying that. And the avoidant individual, sometimes they even say it in a frustrated way. What can I say? What can I say? What can I do to make you understand I hear you? I acknowledge you. I'm not trying to dismiss you, even though it might look like it, and they might even be doing it. But when they say this, they care about you, because sometimes they don't have the tools at this time to tell you what you need to hear. So if a partner says that to you, tell them, yeah, I want to hear you say this to me. Or when I tell you this, I want you to reply in detail. Tell them specifically what you want, and they'll do it for you. And avoidants don't do things for anybody, but why would they do it for you? Because you're the person they want. So tell them. Because avoidant individuals, they don't typically waste their time really on people. So if they're having these moments where they're telling you this, they care about you. So give that credit. And I know avoidant individuals are very difficult. I'm not trying to make this subject more complicated than it is, but I feel like you guys deserve to know this, okay? The next one, which I think a lot of people, I think if you guys watch my channel, you kind of know this one, but in general, they might tell you, I don't like when you do that, it frustrates me. They point something out that you do that they don't like. Why does this mean that you're the one? Why does this mean they care about you? Because avoidant individuals, if they don't like something, they're either going to distance themselves, they're going to cut you off, or they just don't care enough to let it bother them. But if they're telling you, I don't like when you do that, it frustrates me, what does that mean? It means I trust you, that I can get my needs met by you. So if I tell you this, please take it seriously. They're opening up to you. It's pretty important that avoidant individuals, this is a skill they need to learn anyways to heal. And the fact that they're already doing that towards you, the person that they love, they appreciate, they believe that you will do that for them. And by the way, if an avoidant is doing this to you, you probably proved it. I'm not saying you should prove yourself, but you probably earned it pretty well. If somebody's saying this to you, that means you must be if it's an avoidant, you're a trustworthy person. You must have taken accountability many times. So I just want you guys to give yourself credit. Because if your partner is in this stage of the relationship, you probably put up with a lot. And I'm sorry that it took so long, how the long length it took, but it's a good thing. These are good things. So you deserve to know that if this is happening, you are loved by somebody, okay? The next one is, this is really common. I'm not mad. Don't worry about it. I'm not mad. Maybe just work on it going forward, or don't worry about it. I promise I'm not mad. when they mention I'm not mad, again, more common with anxious preoccupied, it really means they care about you, especially if they are a little frustrated, but they're trying to say, I'm not mad, let's just work on it and just move on, right? They're trying to tell you this isn't that big of a deal. Like, we're good, we're fine, I promise. And some avoidants even say, don't worry, we're good. Avoidant individuals say that a lot when they're more open to you. Don't worry, like, it's not a big deal, we're good, let's move on. Like, we're on the same page. I hear that a lot too in couple sessions. Don't worry, we're on the same page. Let's just move on, forget it. And they mean it. They're happy. Like, they are good. So believe them when they tell you these things. I want you guys to understand that I know avoidant individuals can be very complicated, but it's nice to know that somebody does truly love you, especially if you love them, okay? So please like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.